So, generally take up the lecture is on. But I want to see, I don't know if I need to use the microphone or if it's going to pick my type of language. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. Inshallah ta'ala, I'd like to welcome everyone to our adult Tajweed class, where inshallah ta'ala our hope is to become closer and more competent, closer to and more competent with the Quran during this blessed month of Ramadan. Inshallah ta'ala, for each person, whether you know how to read fluently or you're struggling to do so, the goal is to make sure that each person who joins this class is able to improve upon their level. So if you're struggling to recognize the letters, inshallah ta'ala, we'll be able to help you memorize them and differentiate between them in an accurate and quick manner. And for those who are reading but then are having struggle differentiating where each sound for each letter comes from, we also, inshallah ta'ala, will be able to help each individual make sure that they're able to know where the sound of the letter comes from and how to pronounce it properly so it makes the right sound. And for those who have passed that level, those who are connecting the words and reading fluently to some degree will inshallah ta'ala increase them in their knowledge of the rules of connection between letters and between words in the Quran. So I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows us to complete this set of materials in a manner that is beneficial to the community, bi'ithnillahi ta'ala. So with our brother Chad here, who, alhamdulillah, we've had the pleasure to continue on this path of learning how to read the letters of Arabic and the words. Where we have reached now is we are learning how to connect individual letters to form small words. And for the next part, inshallah ta'ala, I'll begin a presentation on the board, then we will dive into the lesson. So, this is a little bit problematic. Let's make So we've gone over like fatha, kasra, dhamma, or no?
We did fatha.
Yeah, fatha. Okay. So we have our Arabic vowels. Okay. So we have fatha, what we've done. Kasra. And okay. So when it comes to the Arabic vowels, we have three. And those are a, e, and u. So above the letter, a. Okay. And then the e, and then also, also above, but is this legible?
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. So now, when it comes to any Arabic letter, we went over that there's where the sound of the letter comes from. Alhamdulillah, that was I think beneficial. Like we're able to clean up any of the like just habitual places where the letters might come in a little bit of a wrong place. So now, with that in mind, we also add to the letter a sound, a vowel sound. And so the first one we went over was fatha, which is a. Now we have kasra, which is e. So each letter will now adopt an ending of e. So we have hamza, kasra, e. Ba, kasra, b. Ta, kasra, t. Tha, kasra, fi. Jim, kasra, g. Ha, kasra, hi. خاء كسرة خي دال كسرة دي ذال كسرة ذي. So would you like to repeat this?
So I call this Hamza Kasra.
Yes.
Hamza Kasra E. Ba Kasra B. Da Kasra D. Tha Kasra Thi. Jim Kasra G. Ha Kasra Khi.
Not quite.
Yeah. And I get Ha Kasra Hi. Ha Kasra Khi. Dal Kasra Di. Dal Kasra Di.
or كسرة ري زي كسرة زي سين كسرة سي شين كسرة شي صاد كسرة صي ضاد كسرة ضي طاء كسرة طي ظاء كسرة ضي عين كسرة عي غين كسرة ضي
را كسرة ري زي كسرة زي.
I want to add a little bit of heaviness.
Okay. زي كسرة زي.
Good.
سين كسرة سي. شين كسرة شي. صاد كسرة صي. ضاد كسرة ضي. طاء كسرة طي. ظا كسرة ضي. عين كسرة عي. غين كسرة غي.
فاء كسرة في قاف كسرة قي كاف كسرة كي لام كسرة لي ميم كسرة مي نون كسرة مي هاء كسرة وي واو كسرة وي and ياء كسرة وي.
فاء كسرة في. قاف كسرة قي. كاف كسرة كي. كي. كاف كسرة كي. لام كسرة لي. ميم كسرة مي. نون كسرة مي. نون كسرة مي. هاء كسرة هي. واو كسرة وي. يا كسرة يي.
Okay, so now we're going to practice of joining the letters together, and also we're now have to focus on the placement of the vowel, because we have fatha on the top of the letter, and then kasra below the letter, the line, the small line below, above and below. So they're going to be interchanged between the words, and so that's the first area of attention that we need to establish before we start reading, and then secondarily the sound. So, inshallah, we're going to break it down first here in these boxes. So we have the methodology is fairly simple, the same as sounding out in the English language with any word. We're going to do the same thing. So the first thing we're going to do before we even start reading the word itself is break down the word. So we have ba, kasra, b, and then ka, fatha, ka. So we establish both of those sounds individually, and then we place them together as dika. Make sense?
Yes.
So now we have the next word. We can try that inshallah.
حمزة كسرة إي. نون كسرة ني. إني.
Good.
لام كسرة لي. ميم فتحة ما. لما.
Good.
عين فتحة ع. نون كسرة ني. أني.
Good.
باء كسرة بي. ها كسرة تي. به.
Very good.
خا فتح خا
No, not quite.
خا.
So we have
Oh,
there we go.
ها فتح ها. سين كسرة سين. با فتح با.
Good.
حسيبة حسيبة
So now,
حسيبة.
very good. We're going to learn about a little bit about the proportion of Arabic words and letters. So we're going to, as we continue on progress, inshallah, we're going to go over the different effects that letters that happen in certain orders can have that are going to cause an extra stretch, and sometimes there will be a lack thereof. But the key principle to understand right now is that every single letter is equal in the amount of time it takes to pronounce. So just when it's two letters, it's much easier. But as the words get a little bit longer, sometimes it gets difficult. But I'd like to keep it in mind as we continue and progress. So we have hasiba. So even though we're sounding out letters at the moment and trying to make sure that we have the proper pronunciation, if we get too, if one letter takes too long, then it throws off the proportion of the word. So it's important that after establishing the sound, when you're putting it all together, all of the letters have to take the same exact amount of time, unless there's an external force that causes that to change. So for this one, we're going to say hasiba.
حسيبة.
Very good.
حمزة كسرة بي. با كسرة بي. لام كسرة لي. إبلي.
Very good.
يا فتح فتحة يا. لام كسرة لي. جيم فتحة جا. يلي جا.
Yes, good. But let's make the gene a little bit. What I would say is it's having a little bit of air. So let's try to let's make it jet.
Yes. Yeah, it was ja. يا فتحة يا. لين كسرة لي. جيم فتحة جا. يلي جا. يلي جا. عين فتحة ع. جيم كسرة جي. باء فتحة باء. عجيبة. فاء فتحة فاء. راء كسرة ري. حاء فتحة حاء. فابحة. ميم فتحة ما. لام كسرة لي. كاف كسرة كي. ملكة ملكي ملكي.
Good.
خاء فتح خاء. طاء كسرة طي. فاء فتح فاء. خطف خطف خطف.
Good.
كاف كسرة كي. باء فتح باء. راء كسرة ري. كباري باء فتحة باء لام فتحة لا دال كسرة ضي يا باء فتحة باء لام فتحة لا دال كسرة دي 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 دي.
So the tongue is going to be at the tip of the tongue is going to be at the base of the front two teeth. And then don't let too much air gather in that space between the tongue and the top of your mouth.
دال كسرة دي.
There we go.
Yeah, when I'm saying dal, but when I'm losing it when I add the vowel. Because I'm not, this is, okay. Baladi.
Very good.
Ghain, fatah, qah. ضاد كسرة ضي باء فتحة باء غاضبة 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 راء فتحة راء ضاد كسرة ضي ياء فتحة ياء رضية حمزة فتح لا ميم كسرة مي نون فتح لا أمنة 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 باء فتح باء قاف كسرة قي يا فتح يا بقية بقية.
Good, but I like the qaf. It's yes,
طي بقية.
So it's a little bit more of a difficult letter to pronounce in the sense that yes, it's a heavy letter. When it takes the kasra, it now takes the lightest amount of heaviness, if that makes sense, or the least amount of heaviness. So you don't want it to be so heavy where it's like, but at the same time, it still has to have some heaviness, so it becomes
باقية باقية.
That's the one.
باقية.
Good.
I think when I'm transitioning from the qi to the ya, I'm making it heavier because to go to the ya.
Yeah. So the transitions are part of the things that take the most, not the most time, but like that's when we understand, like we really see the practice has the most effect. When the transitions become nature.
Yeah. Now it feels like a lot of work. Like my chest is tight. It's like I'm running.
Yeah.
Because so then with practice comes some ease, right?
Yes, because I remember we talked about those muscles, right? Muscles that sometimes they become weakened because in the native tongue, right? For example, English speakers, there is no fall, there's no iron, there's no fall. So those muscles that are required to speak those letters, they kind of fall to the wayside. So when we re-engage them with the Arabic language, it becomes difficult. And it takes a lot of practice to re-engage them to where they can now pronounce the letter to a proper level. And when it comes to the transitions, it's like almost like, walking is one thing, and it's saying the letter standing up. But then you're now at the running or jumping, that's where the muscles get sore. It's like, oh, I'm doing extra work. So, oh, we'll get there.
Inshallah. Ha, fatha, ha, ba, kasra, bi, ta, fatha, ta, habata, habata, habita, habita.
Good. And one other thing that I want to add, a general rule to understand is that every single letter, and basically reading in general, our goal is to get to a place where it comes almost effortlessly, like it flows out of the mouth, right? So like, even when you feel yourself having that difficulty or that, like a little bit of stress, right, from the pronunciation, try to bring yourself back to that reality so that then you can start training yourself that, okay, yes, I'm having difficulty right now, but I want to get to a stage where that isn't the case. And if you're not telling yourself that, it almost becomes a second nature that, whenever I read, I need to like bear down.
Yes.
Work at it, which we are trying to exit that stage.
Yeah, I find that sounding out each letter is very helpful. But then when I read the word, I'm racing through. I'm rushing instead of just keeping a pace. And then it's like I'm working harder than I need to work.
Yes. So here's the thing that can help with that, John. We talked about proportion. So even if at this stage each letter has to do like like a little bit
Right,
of stretch.
right.
Let it stretch. So that then you don't have that like time basis of like, I need to finish it in this.
Right.
So,
because in this case, like I read ba, kasra, bi, but then when I had habat, I put a fatha instead of a kasra because I was just not thinking, I was rushing. Shin, fatha, sha, ra, kasra, ri, ba, fatha, ba, sha, ri, ba. Ba, kasra, bi, ain, kasra, ri, صاد فتح صاد ميم كسرة ميم بي بي صامي بي صامي بي صامي.
So the mean is having a little bit of transference of things.
بي صامي.
Good.
Yes. Is this a real word?
Yes.
What does this word mean?
I saw it means, like for example, protection. So it comes from the word, the general meaning of protection, like asma.
I don't know that I've ever read B.
So it's the ba is a what does it call it? Preposition.
Okay.
So that's an extra letter that's added to the word.
Okay. واو فتى و شين فتى شاء ها كسرة هي.
So make that hat a little bit with less resistance.
I have a hard time with